I'm Kier Spates, and welcome to another episode of Living Your Life. I'm joined by my good friend, Dr. Hebert. Dr. Hebert, what's going on, man?
These NBA playoffs,
The
bruh.
NBA playoffs?
The NBA playoffs, they hurting to play out here, but guess what though? We
Yeah.
gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. My heart is soft for this thing,
Okay.
but it's
Well,
good. How you doing, man? You doing all right?
man, I'm blessed, brother. I'm here, man. You know what I'm saying, man? Living my best life, man. Doing what we do, man. Let me ask you a question, though, man. Let me just tell the people this. Does sickle cell discriminate? It does not. Does sickle cell care if you black, white, Hispanic? I'm here to tell you, it does not. Does it even matter if you are a premier athlete able to play on some of the biggest and largest basketball courts globally? It does not. Here to talk to us about playing professional basketball while facing sickle cell disease challenges is my friend, Mr. Billy Garrett Jr. Hey, welcome to Living Your Life, Billy, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
Look,
Billy.
Billy must have got them comments I heard about. He said about that the playoffs.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's a rough playoffs right now. You don't know what's gonna happen. If you got a team in the fight, you're lucky, man.
yeah,
It's
that's
tough
right.
right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, man. Well, you know what, Billy, man, let me ask this, man. You know, you've been playing basketball professional for how long?
About 6 years, and this will be the end of my 6 year this year.
6 years you've been playing basketball with sickle cell.
Yeah, yep. Yeah.
So, what did that even come into your mind that you're not supposed to be doing that?
You know what? I credit my parents with that because it started from a young age, man. Like honestly, they didn't even give me the ability to use sickle cell as like a crutch in a sense. You know what I mean? Like I didn't even know what I was dealing with starting early. Like my mom did a great job of informing me about the disease and what it was and what it was I had to do in order to stay healthy. But at the same time, they didn't allow me to look at it as something that was limiting. And I think over time, like starting out young with that mindset, I wasn't.
Yeah,
It wasn't until I got to college where I was like, I guess this isn't really normal because I saw the response I was getting from other people that had sickle cell, doctors and things like that. But up until that point, if I ran into a crisis or something like that, it was just another day. I'm like, all right, let me pick up what I learned from this and what got me to this point of having a crisis. Let me not do it again. And let me work my body in a better and better shape. And over time, I just
yeah,
built like a I'll say a relationship with the disease to where I kind of knew what worked for me.
yeah. I
yeah.
had the same thing, man. My parents told me the same thing as young man. You know, I was playing sports, and doctor came in and says, "Hey, he's not supposed to be doing that. What if he dies?" My mom said, "Well, he gonna die doing something he loved." But they never
Yeah.
put
Exactly.
that
Exactly.
stigma in your mind, like you can't do anything the other kids are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they told my, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, go ahead, Billy. Go ahead.
I was gonna
Go ahead,
say
bro.
when they told my dad and he had that approach too, and he's a coach himself at the college ranks. So he's a tough guy, and he goes. The doctor tells him like, yeah, he doesn't need to be playing sports. He doesn't need to be doing any of that. And he's like, says who? Like, why? You know what I mean? My parents are always like,
Yeah,
why? And then we'll let him go out there. Of course under supervision. But when I was young, they let me go out there and they let me test my limits. I think that was the biggest thing that they allowed me to do. And as a result, I never feared what I was dealing with. And then just kind of figured out a way to do what I love and maintain my health at the same time.
Well, yeah,
oh man,
I think that's really important, Billy, because as a physician, a clinician that takes care of patients with sickle cell, that's what this show is about: living your life. Because as an elite athlete, what did you have to do as far as your intake of enough hydration, your intake of vitamins, your intake of food that was not unhealthy? What was your lifestyle like, and what is it to this day for you to be able to compete at that highest level with a disease that causes some people to crumble sometimes because they're not really taking care of their machine, also known as their body?
Absolutely, that's the way you got to look at it, especially when you're a professional athlete. Your body essentially is a machine, right? It's like it's your primary asset. And I'm not going to say I had that mentality from the jump, just because as a kid, you're not the most disciplined. That's just natural. You got to learn, and you got to go through the bumps in the road. So, I had my bouts with crisis. It was a lot of trial and error. But I never got discouraged when I was dealing with crisis at a young age when I would have them a lot more often. And then there were a couple incidences through high school, through college, where it really
hmm
had to start to work on my body because I started to have I would have crisis not as much as when I was young, but they would be a little bit more serious because of the level of intensity I was putting my body through. And I kind of refined the routine, and over time, I refined the routine, and I realized how important hydration, and how important diet is. Diet is probably the biggest component to my success as an athlete.
Mhm.
And what I eat, what I drink, and my rest, and the people I have around me, as much as even stress, things like that.
Right.
I look at
What,
all those things.
what do you eat? What's Billy gonna eat today?
Today was today I had. It's funny you asked. My dad tried to tell me I eat like a rabbit, man, but I'm a
Good.
vegetarian, so I don't eat meat or
Okay.
anything like that. Not necessarily that
Wait a minute.
is.
Hold on. Wait a minute. I'll get you right.
Yeah, what's going on?
Did you say vegetarian?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Don't eat no
I
animal
can give
flesh.
it to you.
You know what I'm saying?
You see
I
that
can give it
star?
to you.
You see that star behind Kier?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
from Texas.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna get
He's
you
a
a veggie burger. We're gonna get him a barbecue veggie burger, man. That's what we're gonna get you,
Yeah,
bro.
no, no,
Vegetarian.
no, 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 no. Because you're the first vegetarian sickle cell person I've ever met.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, if you think I'm finna go down that road, I'm not going. I'm just gonna deal with it.
I'm telling
I'm
you,
gonna
come
have
join
some
join the
ribs.
party, man. You won't regret it. I promise you won't
No,
regret it, man.
no, y'all
Kier's
not
a
getting us with that.
meatitarian. He's a
He's a
meatitarian.
meatitarian.
Yeah,
That's what he don't eat veggies.
yeah,
He don't eat
not doing that.
veggies.
No,
Yeah,
Billy,
man.
Vegetarian.
Billy, you gonna come on here talking about vegetarian like you gonna convince the other sickle cell person
Hey, he
to
asked. I
sign
gotta
up.
tell him the truth.
Nah,
I gotta tell him the
nah,
truth, man. That's what I'm doing
nah.
these days.
Cause y'all always like to say, you know what, it tastes just like chicken. No, it don't.
It doesn't.
Chicken
I'm
tastes
not gonna
like
be that
chicken.
guy. I'm not gonna be that guy to tell you it tastes just
No,
like chicken.
no,
It
you
doesn't.
ain't finna lie to
It
me.
doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't, man. I'm gonna be honest with you on that.
The buffalo cauliflower just like buffalo wing. No, it
Nah,
ain't.
that's
No,
cauliflower for sure.
that's buffalo cauliflower.
Yeah, but look, Kier,
If
I'm gonna tell you this. Billy said, "Look, you know what? I'm in Poland doing what I do, and when I run up and down that court, I ain't stepping on no buffalo wings.
You feel
yeah,
me?
I'm
no,
stepping on Billy wings."
I gotta be locked in. I gotta be locked in, man. I
you,
gotta,
you do, man. You do have to be locked in,
yeah.
Billy. Man, let me ask you this, man. Let me get you right. So you go from the NBA
hmm
to
Yeah.
overseas. I mean, do you see a difference in the healthcare system versus the U.S. versus over there in Poland?
You know what? That's a great question, man. I won't say because over here is everywhere I've been. It's been universal healthcare, so everybody has healthcare. Now the facilities, they're not as nice as your nicest hospitals in the states, but as far as like healthcare goes, they have everything that you need. I haven't run into any issues since I've been playing in Europe. Man, I've had one crisis,
Mm-hmm.
and this was 2020, right before COVID. Um,
Okay.
and everything was fine. They had everything I needed. They understood what it was. In some places where sickle cell isn't as prevalent, you'll have to explain, what they're dealing with, and the doctors usually understand, but they just don't see cases of it that often. So you might have to refresh them on what you need. And I've had a great relationship with all my trainers, and they've
Well,
understood.
you know what's crazy about that, Billy? That the people in Poland
hmm
Right.
have Google, and
Exactly.
you go to the ER, and they look it up and say, "This is the protocol," and they can handle it because they can read. Doctors in the United States don't even do that.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
be like, "Oh, I ain't never take care of a sickle cell patient. Oh well, we'll just figure it out as we go."
yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
respect that they have there that they don't even have in the United States.
Yeah, the doctors are great people, man. They're really nice. Sometimes, and I've had situations like that where I've had crises, and I've been in the States. This happened particularly in college, where the doctors kind of, the stigma that goes with sickle cell patients isn't always the greatest. So I came into the hospital, and they're looking at me like I'm just kind of seeking pain medications and things like that. And I've been in situations like that. And since I've been in Europe, man, I haven't had any issues at all. I've had great doctors in America as well, but since I've been here, even when they don't know, that's why I encourage everybody with sickle cell to want to understand, what your triggers are, but also what you do in times of a crisis, so you can kind of verbalize that to the doctors,
Mm-hmm.
and let them know what it is that you usually need to get yourself back together. But since I've been here, man, I've had no issues in any hospitals or any doctors at all.
Wow. That is great, man. Let me ask you this, Billy, man. What has been the most challenging part about balancing your health and your career living abroad?
Living abroad, man, I'd say maintaining a healthy like sleep routine, because you always hit that time change. And your schedule can get hectic, especially in when you're in Europe. Between games and practices, usually you're having multiple practices a day. So I say
Yeah.
maintaining a healthy schedule more so than just a sleep routine, but maintaining a healthy schedule where you're getting your meals in, getting your hydration in, getting your rest in. Particularly for guys who are coming over to Europe for the first time, guys who aren't used to it, you got to develop a routine. But other than that, I haven't had any major issues. As far as diet's concerned, things like that, they got everything that I need here. The trainers have been great. It's really just maintaining your schedule and not getting off of that.
Oh man, okay,
Yeah.
you got that down. So you just keep that schedule. Everything be cool. That's all you have to do. It's really should just keep your stress down.
Exactly. Keep your stress down, get your rest. Simple things that go along with living a healthy lifestyle just all together, man. It's just if you can do that, eat clean, get your rest, stay out of trouble, then you're good to go for the most part. That's been a recipe for success for me. And I think,
Hmm.
it's something that everybody can kind of piggyback on.
Let me ask you a question, Billy. You're a cool fella hanging out in Poland. You're a basketball player. I know you have significant others or significant other or
Don't put that
however
man
that
under
would
that
go.
type of pressure. You don't know what that man's.
And
Hey, he
Uh,
put
I just
hey, he put
say,
a lot of heat on me right now, man. I gotta
yeah,
sit up
don't
for
do that.
this. Hold on,
We all
let me get my answer
we
together.
all on camera like that. He is a one woman man. Don't do that to
look,
him.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just that was the preliminary part of the question.
I like
The
that.
question is, when you are thinking about moving forward with your life, maybe having children, or whatever. Do you think about that the person that you're going to be with may or may not have sickle cell trait or anything like that, or sickle cell disease? Does that even come into your mind when you think about stuff like that?
Yeah, it does. It does. To answer the question, I'm a single man right now, so I'm not at that place where I gotta make that decision. But
Right,
when
right.
the time does come, that's something that I'll definitely have in my mind. If it's somebody that I really care about, somebody I really love, then it's just something we kind of got to make work. I have sickle cell myself, so I know that it's something that you can make work. But also,
Sure.
it's not something that I would want my child to have to deal with if I had the choice. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Man, that's what I did, Billy. I don't have any kids because of that one thing. And people don't understand that, because I had sickle cell and I can imagine my child, my daughter, or my son going through this exact scenario that I had to live with.
yeah,
Man, that is a huge responsibility.
yeah, absolutely.
To
Yeah.
make sure that to make a decision to make a child with someone and knowing that you could actually pass this on to somebody and you got to watch the suffering all over again.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
exactly.
and that's why we people that everybody's going to do what they want to do, and everybody has sometimes the wherewithal to handle it and not have the wherewithal to handle it. It all depends on who you are. But that's why we're pushing so hard for people to have a universal registry so everybody can at least know. You just need to know. You know what I'm saying? And you can do whatever you want to do, but just know. And that's the part. That's tough out there because people just don't know.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Something as simple as just knowing what it is, whether you got trait, whether you got the disease before you step into that situation.
Yep.
Yeah, that's big. That's huge.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Billy. So take me back, man. Take me back to when you first got to the NBA. How'd that happen? Talk to me about that.
All right, man. So it's an interesting story. I went through college. I played college at DePaul University. Shout out to Blue Demons. I played there for 4 years.
Yeah.
Played there 4 years. Didn't get drafted. Came out of college. Didn't had a few workouts with some teams. My freshman year in college, I was rookie of the year in my conference in the Big East. So I had some momentum early. We didn't win as much as we needed to throughout the rest of my career. But I knew that I had the ability to play.
Hmm.
Just needed an opportunity. So after I left college, I went to a G League Open tryout. Man, honestly, I went. I got a call from the New York Knicks that they were interested in me playing with their G League team, but they needed me to come work out, and basically it was a 23-man camp to try to make the G League team. So did what I had to do there. Played my first year there. Didn't play much early. Just kind of stayed down. You know what I mean? Just kept grinding it out. Picked up more playing time as the season went on. Then came back for about the time the season ended. I was starting, putting up pretty good numbers. So the Knicks signed me that summer to come to training camp. So
Hmm.
this time I'm with the New York Knicks training camp. My second year didn't make the team. They sent me back to the G League. So I go
Hmm.
back to the G League, play there for almost the full season, a little bit over half a season. And before we're in the G League playoffs and the season ends before the NBA season. I'm putting up pretty big numbers. So, I'm young, so I'm feeling myself. I'm like, man, listen, I'm about to get that call, bro. I'm about to get that call. I knew
You
it.
get that call.
But
they waiting on me.
It never came.
I'm Billy.
It never
came.
They
Billy G.
Right.
They waiting on me.
Exactly. That's how I'm feeling. I'm 23, 24.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah. So we get
Jumper nice. I know. How you feeling,
We get to that point. It's the end of the season. And I'm like, man, I ain't get a call. And I'm hot because I know my numbers were like at the top of the league, top of the G League. And it's the last day of the G League season. There's still some NBA season left to go. So I call my agent and I'm pissed. I'm like, yo, man, I ain't get the call. What's going on? And when you're young, you kind of looking for somebody to blame, right? Instead of taking that responsibility. So I was like, man, my agent must be tripping. So I fired him. I fired my agent. Like,
that's what you do when you got the biggest numbers in the league. You fire your agent.
Right.
That's what you do. Because I'm nice.
I'm
nice with it.
But it wasn't his fault though. It wasn't my agent's fault. It's a lot of his time and place, right? So I ended up firing my agent, and I'm like, all right, I'm packing my stuff up, right? It's the night before we leave. It's me and the guy that was staying in my apartment with me at the time, one of my teammates, and we just talking about the season. And like, this is like 5 hours after I fired my agent. I get a call from me and my teammate ordered food. So I'm thinking it's the people that are delivering the food. I get a call, and I'm like, hello, I'm thinking the food is outside. It's the GM from the New York Knicks. So like, I just stop in place. He's like, yo, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna sign you for this year. We're gonna sign you for the rest of next year. And I'm just kind of stuck, man. It was crazy. I had my bags packed. He's like, yo, your bags packed? I'm like, yeah, everything's packed, man. I appreciate you guys having me. I appreciate you bringing me on. Thanks for the opportunity. I'm thinking I got to figure out what I'm gonna do next. He's like, all right, cool. Yeah, unpack your bags. We're gonna sign you. I started crying, man. It was crazy because I started crying, and I didn't realize what had happened. Especially, and I didn't even think about sickle cell at the time because that wasn't really at that time. I'm a lot more outspoken about sickle cell than I was then. So then I was like, all right, man, I made it. Like it's time to get to it. I actually got my shot. And then that next morning I was in Orlando playing against the Magic, man. It was a crazy, crazy experience. But and I had to call my agent back. I was like, hey.
Now we're gonna call the agent back. You know what, my bad, dog. I was tripping.
Yeah, I was in my feelings, man, blah, blah, blah. And then I sent him the contract. He's like, yeah, bro, I got your contract. Like, what you want to do? I'm like, that's on me. I'm sorry. That's my bad. I was tripping.
Yeah. But you a great dude. So you've been doing your job. I know.
That, you know what I'm saying? He was a good dude. He was a great dude. I was young, man. I was high-headed. Not high-headed, but I was emotional.
That's youth. That's youth. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
well, Bill, let me ask you a question. When you got that call, I know you had gone through all your physicals and stuff for the Knicks. How bad did they run you through the ringer because you had sickle cell? Did they like make you do all kind of stuff that they wouldn't make other people do to get an NBA? Or how that
you know what? Because I had started that season in training camp with the Knicks, but going into it because of the roster situation, I understood it was going to take a lot for me to make that team. So a lot of my medicals and everything were already with the G League team. So they knew what I was dealing with, but they were super understanding, man. I've been blessed enough to not be in situations where doctors try to keep me from getting on the court. In college, it was a situation where they don't want to take on a liability, if you will, or something bad happening. So I had to convince I had to get doctors to convince my trainers in college to let me play. But once I got to New York, man, it was smooth sailing because they just kind of allowed me. I had to run through the tests, the echoes, all that stuff, and make sure I look at my body. I did everything, but they never questioned me, and that was a stigma that I had of myself. Like I was afraid to express that I have sickle cell, especially in college and my first couple years in the league, because it was like, man, I don't want them to look at me a different way because they know. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then I kind of grew out of that and realized the blessing it was. But early on, that's kind of how I approached it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah. I totally understand that. Yeah. I got pulled off my football team my senior year because a player one of my teammates went and told the team doctor he has sickle cell. Never looked at my records, never looked at nothing. You've been playing in a program this entire time. Not an issue, and jeopardize all my scholarships.
Yeah, and that's the
just because of one person said something.
That's the thing.
And that's hard to deal with.
Especially when they don't understand all the way what sickle cell is. It's a serious disease. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's something to take very seriously, but at the same time, it doesn't prevent. You've been playing for 4 years. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. But Billy, this is the thing, Billy. You outworking everybody.
Yeah. Because you understand, though. You understand what you got to do. You understand. You don't take it for granted, right? Because it's like, man, naturally when you just been doing something your whole life from the beginning, you tend to like think it's meant to be there. Like it's a level of gratitude that you got when you operate in the sickle cell, because it's like, man, honestly, the odds I wasn't even supposed to be here to begin with. You know what I mean? So when
Yeah,
you achieve what it is, like, yo, I appreciate every second of it.
Billy. Billy, you got sickle cell. You dropping 25 and 10,
You feel
and
me?
he healthy. Give him 7 and 4. That's it. He healthy.
You understand what I'm saying?
Ain't nothing wrong with him.
Yeah, he good. He got his cells is good. Ain't nothing wrong with this. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing.
You know. You know what, man? Let me just ask you this, man. Let's talk about this is also a big part about sickle cell, man. Like, uh, you know, the mental health, man.
Huge.
Do you deal with that, man? How is that vital part of your journey?
Absolutely.
I mean, how do you manage the mental aspect of playing at a high level in professional basketball like that?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, man. For professional sports as a whole, just in general, it's a high pressure. It's a high pressure. It's a high pressure environment. You know what I mean? It's a high pressure occupation. So even without the sickle cell, you got to be able to maintain, a healthy mental state at all times, because you're being evaluated 24/7. And I talk about this from time to time. Is not too many professions are you going out there trying to perform your job, and there's somebody across from you actively trying to keep you from performing your job. You know what I mean? And then you got coaches, and you got to deal with fans. You got to deal with the pressures of what you're doing, and it's a public thing, so everybody's watching. So from that standpoint, you got to be able to build a healthy relationship with yourself. Now, when you add in the sickle cell, um, even without playing sports, just the sickle cell in itself, you got to deal with the stresses of knowing that you're dealing with a very serious disease, right? And that's why um, I encourage people to approach sickle cell from a mental and holistic standpoint, to begin with. You know what I mean? Because once you kind of get to build that relationship with yourself, where you're accepting of what you're dealing with, and then you can kind of twist your lens for how to best operate with it. I think is huge in living a healthy lifestyle. I actually talk about that. I was having troubles with that myself, especially at the beginning of COVID, because I wasn't playing, and I had some time to sit to myself, and I started writing. I ended up writing a book that I'll release in August of this year. But I'm talking about my journey with sickle cell, and more importantly, in the back end of it, the lessons I've learned from it and how to approach it from a mental standpoint. And I think it's important that you have a great support circle. Got to have people around you that understand what you're dealing with, and a great relationship with yourself, man. Mental health is a huge part of dealing with the disease and dealing with the pain of it.
Yeah, that is, man. Dr. Hebert, do y'all see that a lot when y'all dealing with us? When you're dealing with us with sickle cell, like the mental health aspect, when you see patients, you can tell that they're not at their best. If
Yeah,
they
I
come in
mean,
for
see
visits
what
and follow
happens is,
ups.
man, that the reason why is that you just you get a expiration date at a very young age that you're not even supposed to be here. So that's the first thing. This and so you beat that. So then you feel like almost every day that you pass that expiration date, you're living on borrowed time. So just that whole concept of what's gonna happen tomorrow is a big stressor on anyone. I mean, anxiety, look, one of the words most used in the Bible is anxiety. Because as you know, Kier, nobody has ever passed the ultimate test and came back to tell us, right?
Right,
So
right,
when you're talking about faith, you got to be like, I just got to believe. And anxiety comes from not knowing something. So when you are a sickle cell patient, what they've told me, like y'all are saying right here, is that you have this anxiety sometimes because you don't know that that crisis is coming tomorrow,
right.
and that might be it.
That
That
could be
acute
it.
chest syndrome is coming tomorrow, and that might be it. So living in that, you have to be very well adjusted. You have to have mindfulness, because the issue is what happened in the past is over. What's happening in the future, I can't change. And if I can change it, something to help me, I need to change it. If I can't change it, what I'm gonna worry about it for? Live right here in the moment, exercise mindfulness, and that's a hard thing to do for somebody
Man,
without the disease.
Right,
absolutely. Yes, you
right.
gotta practice it, man. It's literally like a practice in presence. Like it's something that you gotta understand how to live in the present moment, man. You hit it on the head with that, and just being able to understand that, like, for me anyways, it was understanding that one, it's uncontrollable. like having sickle cell is something that I can't control. It's here, right? So it's like I got to be able to live presently and understand what I'm dealing with, and that if that crisis does come, if that acute chest syndrome does come, then we deal with it in the moment. We deal with it when it's here.
Yeah.
Understanding that and practicing in that and being able to stay in that space is something that you got to learn how to do.
That's right.
Right. No, man,
That's
because
right.
the mental health aspect is, I've a lot of people don't know this. When I was 15 and 16, because of sickle cell, I tried to kill myself twice.
Right.
Just the mental aspect of it,
So
just not understanding. I said, I think it'd just be better if I just go because I can't keep going in and out this hospital this many times a year.
exactly dealing with the
You
pain,
know,
sickle cell crisis,
dealing with
things
the
like that.
pain.
Yeah, people don't understand.
Yeah,
They don't understand how
man,
hard that is.
man, just getting out the hospital, and then you find, and then like you get out on a Monday and you're back in there on a Wednesday. So you spending it, yeah, you spend a whole month just getting stuck with IVs and blood tests, getting mistreated by doctors.
Exactly.
You know, yes, it's hopelessness. You know, one of the most frustrating things when people don't understand what sickle cell is. When you go into the hospital and then you come out and they look at you and say, "Well, what did you do?" What you mean what I? What you mean what I do? I woke up happy. I went to the hospital. I was doing fine at 5 o'clock. 9 o'clock, I was in the hospital. That's what I did. I ate breakfast. That's it.
Absolutely.
I had some eggs.
You know what I'm saying? Like they act like we just say, you know what? I don't want to do no work today. I'm just gonna start a crisis.
Exactly.
That's not what we do, man.
Exactly, man. I've been
There's
in
nowhere in
situations
it.
like that, man. It's disheartening in a sense because you're walking and then you got to convince them that you're in pain. It's like, listen, man, I'm
Yeah.
in pain right now. Like, help me out here. I'm here for a reason. I didn't want to wake up on this Thursday morning and go to the hospital. That wasn't my plan today. I had other stuff to do. You know what I'm saying? You feel
Yeah.
me? Yeah. I was trying to go hoop at 12:30, man.
Yeah.
It's 1 o'clock. I got a crisis, man. I'm not trying to be. It's tough. It's tough.
No, it is tough, man.
tough.
So I like to say, man, you're such an inspiration for what you're doing for people with sickle cell. That's why I wanted to showcase this story because it takes you're going through way more training and physicality than I am, and you're playing at a high standard every single day. And you have to maintain a balance and a regimen to keep doing it. So what would be your advice to other athletes that have sickle cell?
One it starts in the mind. That's the first thing I would tell them is to understand that it is possible that you can do it. And then you got to be disciplined in everything that you're doing because you don't have as much room for error. You don't have much room for error. So um, again, hydration, diet,
Mm-hmm.
rest, environment, man. Those are the most important things. And if you can maintain those things and keep them at a high level, then sky's the limit. There are no limits, to be honest, with what you're doing. And
Yeah.
that goes for athletes, it goes for artists, it goes for anybody that's doing anything that has sickle cell. And I think that's part of my purpose outside of the sport is to kind of spread that message. I've been blessed enough to have the opportunity and have the platform
Yeah.
to share my message. And if I could tell athletes with sickle cell anything, it would be those things. Take care of your environment, eat right, and take care of your mental, man. Gotta take care of your
Yeah.
mental. That's the recipe for success, and it's possible. If people doing it, I'm doing it. Now I love to see other
Yeah.
people doing it.
Yeah, man. And also, Billy, are you on any medications when you're doing all this? While you just taking your diets or anything? Are you on anything? Or are you just out here just doing those things right
Yeah, I'm
there?
just out here doing those things there. I've been on medications specifically when I was younger. Can't remember what they were off the top of my head, but since I've left college, I haven't been on anything consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but there have been points in my life where I have been on medications, and they've done wonders for me, helped me, especially particularly at that time in my life. But to answer your question right now, no, I'm not.
Yeah. Well, man, you're doing a great job, man. Yeah, we proud of you, man. We rooting for you, Billy.
I appreciate it.
Dog, you're doing a great thing, man. You have any advice you would tell your younger self now?
Uh-oh.
Nah, you know what? Honestly, I wouldn't say a word, man. I wouldn't say a word. I just look at him, watch him, because everything was necessary. Literally everything was necessary. I had to go through it. All the crisis. I wouldn't tell him a word. The ups, the downs, every aspect of it, the worrying, the fear. the triumph, you don't have it without all that, right? So I wouldn't say anything to him. I'll say what's up and keep it pushing, man.
Oh, okay, man. Before I let you go, Billy, I can't let you get out of here without asking you this, man.
What's up?
Billy Garrett's top 5 basketball players. What's your Mount Rushmore?
Mount Rushmore?
Just give me your top 5.
Michael Jordan. He better not say no LeBron James. He better not say no LeBron James.
No, let's just see what Billy say.
Feel attacked, man. Hold on.
No, you know, we might have did this whole interview probably useless.
I'm gonna be honest, y'all are good people, but the way that y'all started that, I gotta go LeBron. I gotta go LeBron first.
There you go.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
LeBron. Okay.
LeBron.
Okay.
You gotta throw Jordan in there. This is in no order. LeBron, Jordan. You gotta throw Kareem in there.
Kareem make everybody
in
list.
there, yeah. Top 5. Recency bias, man. I think KD's up there, but people don't want to go there. But I'm gonna put in my favorite players. I'm gonna put KD in there just because he's something you've never seen before. Oh, I'm tripping. And Kobe. Yeah,
Kobe.
Gotta go.
Okay. KD.
Curry up in there. Little chicken curry.
Best point guard ever, in my opinion, especially after that 50 piece last night. That was insane.
Ooh, he served him up.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's, you can't argue that. That's Billy's. Billy's top 5.
That's me right there. Right?
That's him. That's all you, Billy.
Jordan, KD, Kobe, and Kareem, man. That's what we're gonna go with right there.
Hey, man, we proud of you, Billy, man. Thank you so much for coming on Living Your Life, man.
Yes, sir.
We really, really appreciate you, dog. Keep doing your thing, man. Keep us updated. Let us know how you doing, man. I'd love to talk to you again. We proud of you, man. Boy, I tell you what you doing, man. You out here living your life, Billy.
I'm trying to.
That's what you doing. You living your life, man.
I appreciate you guys for having me on. Thank you for giving me the opportunity and giving me the platform to share my story, man. Hopefully, somebody can relate to it. So thanks again. Much appreciated.
Wow.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Billy Garrett. Billy!
Thank you.
Billy Garrett Jr., ladies and gentlemen. His daddy named Billy Garrett.
Yes, he is.
We'll be right back.
This dude is really living his life. I mean, look, he is playing professional sports at a high level. And I really know people that have sickle cell that can't get out of the bed in the morning. But I'm telling you, what it is, it's that lifestyle. It's that diet. It's that decreased stress. It's that mindfulness. That's why this show is so important. We got to get people understanding they want to live that life like him. You got to take care of that whole thing like that, bro.
Man, congratulations, Billy Garrett Jr., man. Well, that's another exciting episode of Living Your Life. Please follow us and tell a friend to follow us on our social media handles and spread the word about Living Your Life podcast, where we explore the inspiring stories of people who have pursued their passions and people who have successful careers while dealing with life-threatening illnesses like sickle cell disease. Subscribe to this podcast so you never miss an episode. Thank y'all so much. We appreciate you. This has been another episode of Living Your Life. We'll catch y'all next time. Bye, everybody.
Next time. Peace.